Are you ready? Welcome to Conflict Nexus Report, where we bring latest updates about global world crises and latest news. Hang tight for what we have for you today. Just 10 days ago, he stood victorious in the ring, knocking out Jake Paul in front of millions. Today, Anthony Joshua is fighting a very different battle, recovering in a Nigerian hospital after a horrific car crash that killed two of his closest friends. The images are shocking. A mangled Lexus SUV, Joshua being pulled from the wreckage, wincing in pain, and two lives lost in an instant on one of Africa's most dangerous highways. This is the story of how a champion's triumphant return to his ancestral homeland turned into tragedy. A story of speed, loss, and the fragile nature of life. This is what we know so far. Before we dive into this heartbreaking story, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. This is a developing situation, and we'll continue to bring you verified updates as they come in. On Monday, December 29th, 2025, at approximately 11 a.m. local time, former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua was traveling along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in southwestern Nigeria. He was riding in a black Lexus SUV. The destination has not been officially confirmed. What happened next would leave the boxing world in shock. According to Nigeria's Federal Road Safety Corps, the SUV was traveling at excessive speed when it lost control during an overtaking maneuver and crashed violently into a stationary commercial truck parked along the roadside. The impact was catastrophic. Two of Joshua's closest friends and longtime team members Sina Ghami and Kevin Latif Ayodele were killed instantly at the scene. Joshua survived with what authorities describe as minor injuries. But for the 36-year-old former champion, the emotional damage may be far deeper than the physical wounds. To understand the weight of this loss, you need to understand who Joshua lost that day. Sina Ghami was not just Anthony Joshua's strength and conditioning coach. He was a decade-long training partner, 10 years of preparation, discipline, and shared ambition. Ghami specialized in sport and exercise rehabilitation and had worked with elite athletes, including NFL star Le'Veon Bell and NBA champion Draymond Green. But Anthony Joshua was his primary focus. Just weeks before the crash, Ghami was in Miami helping Joshua prepare for his fight against Jake Paul. Photos and videos on social media show them training together, laughing together, building the strategy that led to Joshua's sixth-round knockout victory. Only hours before the accident, Ghami posted an Instagram story showing a black SUV in Lagos. It may have been the final image he ever shared. Kevin Latif Ayodele was Joshua's personal trainer and one of his oldest friends in boxing. The very first image on Ayodele's Instagram page shows a young, early-career Anthony Joshua, long before world titles and global fame. That's how far back their bond went. Just hours before the crash, Ayodele shared a video of himself playing ping pong with Joshua. They were relaxed, joking, enjoying time together in Nigeria. Nothing suggested what was about to happen. These men weren't just employees. They were family. Tributes poured in almost immediately. Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, released a statement confirming the deaths and offering condolences to the families. Nigeria's president, Bola Tinubu, personally called Joshua in the hospital, later posting that he had prayed with him and expressed his sympathies. Even Jake Paul, Joshua's most recent opponent, reached out, saying that life is far more important than boxing. Rival promoter Frank Warren also put competition aside, sending his prayers and support. So what exactly happened on that stretch of highway? According to investigators from Ogun State's Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency, two major factors contributed to the crash. The first was excessive speed. Authorities confirmed the vehicle was traveling beyond the legal speed limit on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, a road already notorious for fatal accidents. The second factor was a burst tire. Officials stated that the SUV suffered a tire blowout while attempting to overtake another vehicle. At high speed, the driver lost control. The Lexus veered off course and slammed into a stationary semi-truck parked along the roadside. Authorities say the truck was properly parked and not obstructing traffic. The aftermath was devastating. Photos and videos from the scene show the luxury SUV completely destroyed. Twisted metal, crushed panels, barely recognizable. Joshua was seen shirtless and in visible pain as emergency responders helped him from the wreckage. Emergency teams from Lagos and Ogun states rushed Joshua and the driver, who was locally hired, to Duchess International Hospital in Lagos. Sina Ghami and Kevin Latif Ayodele were pronounced dead at the scene. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has since been identified by local reports as the deadliest road in Nigeria, with more than 600 fatalities recorded over a 27-month period. The crash occurred during one of the busiest travel windows of the year, the holiday period between Christmas and New Year. Federal road safety officials reiterated that excessive speed and dangerous overtaking remain among the leading causes of fatal crashes nationwide. So how is Anthony Joshua doing now? According to a joint statement from Lagos and Ogun state authorities, Joshua is in stable condition and does not require emergency medical intervention. He sustained minor bruises and non-life-threatening injuries and is being kept under observation. Physically, he is expected to recover. Mentally, the road ahead is far less certain. Frank Warren summed it up plainly, saying that while Joshua may be physically okay, the psychological impact could be far more serious. Surviving a crash that kills two close friends can leave lasting trauma. Survivor's guilt is real. Post-traumatic stress is real. And for a fighter whose career depends on mental sharpness and emotional strength, this could change everything. Before the crash, Joshua was being lined up for a massive showdown against Tyson Fury in 2026, potentially the biggest fight in British boxing history. Now, no one knows if that fight will ever happen. No one knows if Joshua will even want to fight again. To understand why Joshua was in Nigeria, you need to understand his roots. Anthony Joshua was born in England to Nigerian parents. After the victory, he traveled to Nigeria, likely to celebrate, reconnect, and find peace away from the spotlight. Instead, that journey turned into tragedy. This incident goes far beyond boxing. It highlights Nigeria's ongoing road safety crisis, with poor enforcement, speeding, and infrastructure challenges costing thousands of lives. It raises serious questions about celebrity travel safety and risk management. And it forces an uncomfortable but necessary conversation about mental health in professional sports. As Jake Paul said, life is far more important than boxing. Anthony Joshua walked into a ring days ago as a champion. He walked out of a crushed vehicle as a survivor at the cost of two irreplaceable lives. Sina Ghami and Kevin Latif Ayodele were more than coaches. They were brothers, friends, and pillars of Joshua's journey. Joshua's physical injuries will heal. The emotional scars may last a lifetime. For now, the boxing world waits. And most importantly, we remember the lives that were lost. Rest in peace, Sina Ghami. Rest in peace, Kevin Latif Ayodele. This is a developing story, and we will continue to bring you updates as they emerge. If you found this coverage informative and respectful, please like, share, and subscribe. And above all, drive carefully. Don't speed. Wear your seatbelt. Life can change in an instant.